Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jasper Justin with how to make your own Orgonite pyramids. I typically start off with the crystals, which are laid out here. And what I typically do is I pick from various stones and I just go with the chakra colors. So you have red for ground, red, black, and brown for grounding, orange, and then yellow for solar plexus and sacral energy, green for the heart, a little bit of pink for the higher heart as well, and a blue for the throat, the deeper blue for the third eye, and then the violet and clear and gold for the crown chakra. So now, after I've done all that, picked all my stones out, and then I make little copper or bronze coils, such as this. And then I make copper or bronze bottoms like this, but you don't have to make them look like this. You can make them as you wish. You can have them look like infinity symbols or whatever shapes, hearts, whatever you feel like doing. And then I have various metals and organic materials as well, but this is like a mixture that I have of metals like steel, a little bit of aluminum sometimes, like that, and selenite, and it also sometimes various little stones get mixed in there as well. So there's a little bit of pieces of quartz and mica and stuff like that, so it's gonna be just fine. And then in here I have the same thing, just laying around. So, and then also here I have more organic material. It's like crab shells and things that I found at the beach, shells, various shells and stuff like that I end up breaking up, but I'm not breaking those up right now. But that's usually what it is, just different kinds of organic material. And what happens is you have to use these things in layers. So what happens first is like your copper coil will go in, like you're ready to use your mold. Your copper coil will go in first, or after you pour your resin, which is right here. You mix your resin, put your resin in, copper coil goes in, then like your first crystal would go in like this one right here, something like that. And so what I would do is I would place this in here to make sure it fits. So I want to make sure your crystal fits in your coil, of course. And then after the resin's poured in, like that, you put that in there. But if you're using this resin, remember it's highly corrosive when the bonding process starts, so you want to make sure that you have vinyl gloves or latex, whichever you feel like. I usually use vinyl because it doesn't smell. And also make sure that you're wearing something that you may not want to get messy, because it can get a little messy. Cover your surface, if it's like your kitchen or your living room table, with some plastics or something. I typically they have these pyramid molds you can get from any baking store, but they also have silicone molds as well. And I usually have a level, so just in case when I'm done with my pyramids, you see the level right there, it's not level, so I want to make sure that it's level. And so there, that's level. And just check the corners, something like that. Make sure it's level before you even start, then you don't have to worry about it tipping later and spilling resin all over, which I have done before, and it's not fun in the slightest. So there you go, that's level. And just go back and check it all again. That's, yeah, pretty good, excuse me. It's pretty good, yep, looking really good. And there we go, perfect. So there's that. And like I said, at the stores they do have these square steel things that will hold these pyramid molds perfectly. But I didn't buy those because I didn't feel the need, because I have all these different paper cups and plastic cups laying around. Sometimes a pyramid may not turn out the way I want it to, and it might end up a little something like this because I didn't use the proper lubricant. See that? It's all busted and in the middle and everything like that. Never fear, because when there's a mistake made, it can be corrected. So I just go ahead, and this right here would end up being the top of another piece of Orgonite. Or it could be in the middle of a piece of Orgonite, whichever size I decide to make, because this is the smallest size I have. So this is a small, and there's a medium right here, and a large right there. And actually this one right here is my first Orgonite Phantom Orgonite. It's really interesting. I say Phantom because there's a thing called Phantom Quartz, and that has different kinds of minerals inclusions kind of pointing up, and it looks like there's quartz inside of quartz inside of quartz, kind of like that, so they call it a phantom. So at any rate, that's what I would do. I would use this in this. This is one I will be using, but now it looks like it's time to mix the resin, which I get at a local hardware store, and it comes in a box, but the two little tubes, two little containers look like this. This one's the resin, this one's the hardeners. You can find it at just about any local hardware store, and it's actually a high gloss finish. They'll understand it if you ask them at a hardware store, do you have any high gloss finish, and they'll say, oh yes we do, we have this, this, and that. So there's that. And also I have the silicone lubricant from also another hardware store right there, and this is the best stuff to use, because then using this can make the difference between your pyramid turning out like this over here, which is really clear, to this, which is not very clear. And yes, I did learn the hard way. But at any rate, whether it's clear or not, I'm going for the energy. I'm not going for super clarity all the time, because it's about how they make the difference in your workspace or your home space or play space, whichever one you say that you want to make it for. I will do a couple warnings here. Make sure to only put your Orgonite on a stone surface or a wood surface or a glass surface, anything but metal basically, because what I've heard is that by putting it on a metal surface is that it can reverse the polarity of the Orgonite, and because what Orgonite's job is to do is to reduce electromagnetic fields and radiation, and so you reverse that, you're going to increase, the possibility I should say, to increase the electromagnetic fields and radiation. And the same goes for being inside of a vehicle. As you may or may not know, having a cell phone in a car will amplify the microwave radiation of a cell phone, because the car's a metal cage. The same thing speaks for the Orgonite as well. And some folks have said that it doesn't happen. I don't know about that, but I'm just going about from what I know. And so that's just my little warning for using Orgonite. Okay, and also you want to make sure when you're mixing this resin and using this silicone spray to have a well ventilated area, or ventilation from your hood fan on your stove like this. So now we're ready to mix our resin, and I will go ahead and put gloves on. I recommend putting safety gear on, like a mask if you're really sensitive to chemicals, and eye protection too, because sometimes it could splatter. As of right now, I'm going to forego that because I'm very safe with what I do. So there's that. And so we'll make sure you have like a disposable cup of a type. A solo cup is okay, but I would recommend using a paper cup. Because the resin, once it starts to cure or react, I should say, it will get very hot, and then you can come up with this, and you could also burn yourself. So please be careful. Just follow the instructions on your box of resin, and you can't go wrong. So you also need a disposable plastic spoon, like that. That's good too. And so here we go. And you mix this stuff in 1-to-1 ratio, and as it says on the instructions as well, so just make sure to follow that. And actually, before I get going, make sure to spray the resins, the molds that you're going to use. So just give it a good spray. Actually, there you go. Just spray it like this. So when you're mixing the resin, it has like little lines in it. It'll show lines, you know, little, I don't know how to call them lines, but they're lines. And I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but it will see like it's kind of wispy lines, and that means that it's not completely mixed yet. So you got to make sure to get all the way down into the mixture, because you have to mix it all together. If you don't mix it all together, you could be looking for trouble. So it may not bond, and then there could be some gummy parts when it comes to the pyramid when it's supposed to be done. So we're just about done here. And you can kind of feel it when it's starting to react, because it gets a little warm. It feels a little warm on the through the glove. But you know, like I said, follow the manufacturer's instructions, and it says normally to mix for 2 minutes, and you pour in another glass, but I don't always do that. Another cup, I should say. See, it's really clear. Got some bubbles in it, but no big deal, they'll go away. And you should feel like, yeah, a little bit of warmth coming out, so it's reacting. So I'm going to get rid of this for now, and we're going to take this, and remember that silicone spray you sprayed in there, so now it's all at the bottom. So you can spread that around. You can't really see it because it's clear. But spread it all around. And it's a little cold too. It's going to kind of be white a little bit, but it's okay. Actually, I might give it one more spray. Selenite in there, so it's proper. It's not what I wanted. That's why you have chopsticks. There we go. Throw a little bit of amethyst in there, crown chakra. Sorry. Maybe rutile quartz. Maybe a little bit labradorite. Oops. Put that in. Fine. I could throw more stones around the side of it. A little kyanite. And then a little bit of our organic mix right here. A little bit of that. Throw that in around it. Then just put a coil in there. green for the heart chakra. The yellow in there. Amber. More selenite. Gold blackstones in there. Some tourmaline. When things aren't sitting down at the bottom too well or sinking, just go ahead and poke them down with your little deal there. It's under. Everything's under. Sweet. Sometimes you have to put them in the freezer and then run hot water over the molds to get them to just pop out. So sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. So as it stands this time, we do. Even just give them a little knock. This. These are really heavy too. And sometimes you even have to take them out with a knife. Look at that. That's what they look like when you use the proper lubricant. They clear and you can see everything, and everybody wants one. And needs one.